Hi, it's Penny Black and Jill Foster here for another PB&J card class with even more cute critter cards. This is actually the third in a series of 4 videos featuring some of the new stamps and dies from Penny Black's Merry and Joy collection. And all of these cards have a similar layout featuring a cute critter nested or down inside our Snowflake Frames creative die. And here is a look at the card that we will be creating today. And before we begin, I just wanted to mention that I will have a complete supply list, including all the stamps, dies, marker colors, inks, everything listed and up on screen at the very end of the video. So if you want to check that out in more detail at that time, just hit pause and you can view all those supplies. Now, to begin, the hedgie that I'll be coloring is from our Togetherness transparent set, and this does have an exact match die available, the Togetherness cutout, which I'll be using once I am done coloring. So I went ahead and stamped this onto smooth white cardstock using Memento Tuxedo Black ink, and I'm doing all of my coloring using Arteza Everblend markers. These are an alcohol-based marker, and I'm just doing some very simple shading and marker coloring, same techniques that I'd used with any alcohol-based markers, such as Copics, adding in darker and then blending it out with some lighter colors. And then on some parts of the image, like the hat, I will color with the lighter color first, and then go back, add some darker shading, and then blend again with the lighter color. And on his scarf, I just decided to go totally fun and different and add a rainbow of colors to his scarf. So I'm just going to speed things up here for you and turn on a little Christmas music, and I will be back in just a bit. Now, once I was finished coloring that, I used the exact match die to cut that out. And now I'm going to work on the background. And I just wanted to mention this is our Snowflake Frames Creative Die Set. And when you get this die set, you can remove the snowflakes from the center, but you may not want to remove that inner frame die from the outer snowflake frame die. Because if you keep them together and you run them through your machine, you can actually cut a simple rectangular frame that will fit right inside of the larger snowflake frame die. And I think this will make more sense here as you see it. So this red frame, at first I ran it through with some white cardstock, which cut that outer frame. Then I ran it through with some red cardstock, and I got this inner red rectangular frame. And that bright color just inlays perfectly in there, and I think it adds so much to the card. So this is a die set you may want to consider not completely taking apart. Now I just hand trimmed a little snowbank here, and again using some just plain old Scotch tape to tape that on, and you can see how easily now you're ready to create a scene using that snowflake frame die. Now I am just marking a little bit above the top of that frame, and I'm going to do some inking. So I'm going to add my sky, and I'm doing this with some Memento ink and a foam sponge dauber tool. This is the jumbo size, and I'm working in a circular motion and working down towards the bottom of that scene. Now, not all of this will be seen, but I did want the top of this to be a bit darker than the bottom as it moves towards the snowbank at the bottom. So you can get a look at that there. And you can see how quickly you can instantly create this really fun scene. Now, if you wanted something a little bit more traditional than his rainbow scarf, you certainly could color that with like a green and have a much more traditional card. So it's really up to whatever you prefer. Just going back and playing around with my inking a little bit more. Now I'm going to use our Creative Die Set tree border. Now this will cut a complete border that can go across your card, but for my card I just wanted to use some of those really fun trees. So I just went ahead and trimmed them apart from the bottom portion of that die, as you can see here. So now I just have individual trees that I can place exactly where I want them to go. So I haven't yet adhered the top frame portion to the bottom inked portion of this card. I'm just adding in these trees first, gluing them to the outer portion of the frame and kind of tucking them behind the snowbank that we have there. And of course they're wiggling around a little bit on me, but I will slide them back in place. That's the good thing about liquid adhesive. You got a little time to play around with it. And I'm just deciding here where I want to put the third one. I want them all to have sort of varying heights and just sort of fill in that part behind the hedgie. So I am going to glue down just his little feet here. And then I can add this next tree and adhere that to the hedgie there. This is a standard 4¼ by 5½ inch A2 size card. So once everything is done, then it can be mounted to that note card. Now you did get a little peek at the sentiment, and this is from our Thrill of Hope transparent set. This set has a lot of great variety of sentiments and fonts, and so you can use it for a lot of different styles of cards, which is nice. I stamped it onto black cardstock and white heat embossed it. I'm adding this frame and all of those rest of that down using foam adhesive, so it's popped up a little bit. And then I will do the same for the portion of the sentiment that is over the opening, and then liquid adhesive on the left-hand side. And then I'm just going to take a white gel pen and just add a little bit of snow falling down here in the background on top of that inked sky that we have there in the blue. And that will finish off this card. And here I'll give you just a closer look at the finished card and that wonderful detail that you get with that snowflake frame. I think it's just a great way to use your critter stamps and have some fun creating some scenes. And here's a look at the finished card. I thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also connect with Penny Black on Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter, as well as our website and blog. And I will link all of those for you down in the YouTube description box below. And if you stay tuned, right up here on screen will be the list of all the supplies used. Thanks for watching.